You're watching Access Minnesota. Here's Jim Dubois.
What have you heard about the Riverfront Initiative plans?
Well, there's two big plans going on. There's one in Minneapolis called River First that's really concentrating a little bit in the area of St. Anthony Falls, but is primarily in the area upstream between about Plymouth Avenue and the north city limit of the city. That's a highly visionary 50 or 60 year out sense of how the river can be multifunctional, can be better ecological function, how it can be a better draw, more of a destination for populations of the city and for people who would come to visit the city. St. Paul has something called the Great River Passage, which is moving through review processes. It'll probably be brought to the City Council for approval this fall. That, again, is a multifunctional plan. It's a multi-decade vision. What these do by multifunctional is it says, okay, where's a place like Crosby Farms Park or Harriet Island or the Bruce Vento Sanctuary or closer even to the Pig's Eye Water Treatment Plant, a DNR property that they have down in there. How can those be a recreation function? How can we understand that as an economic asset to the city? How can we measure that better? How can the ecological function of the water quality improvement and the land adjacent to that water, how can that be enhanced as well? So you have multiple things going on. Helps the community, economic development, provides a place for people, helps the ecology. But it's also multi-decade, and what that means is that it becomes a focus as the cities organize their bonding bill legislative requests, as they begin to think about what federal grant opportunities they might take advantage of. They begin to see these as central to how the city establishes its priorities. So both cities, once they get the sort of formal approval and adoption of these plans by elected officials, they'll become things that are primary goals for both cities moving forward to 2050.
What do you hope the riverfront will look like, say, 10 years from now?
I think the riverfronts in 10 years, I hope, would be sustainable, and that means that you may have more buffers of more native vegetation than you have grass mowed right down to the water line. I hope they'll be better loved, which means that you may have more facilities there where people can go to. Right now, frankly, I'm really proud of the green space we have and the trails we have, but there's no place you can stop on those trails and buy a pop and a snack. We really need that. People, I mean, they can ride their bike all day, but they need to stop. So we need to have more of that so that they become a regular destination that people go to and care about. They need to be resilient. They need to be something where when it floods, as it will continue to flood in St. Paul, the recovery from that flood isn't a catastrophe that imposes a big strain on the city, but is part of how we understand the river to work. So it becomes, in the words of my friend Dan McGinnis, a river that works and a working river. And the rivers need to be inclusive. We've done a great job of planning for people who are recreation, active recreation people, and for people who have money. We haven't done a great job of bringing the north side across the interstate to the Mississippi. The interstate's a big barrier, but we haven't really thought about how to do anything with that. Everybody in the city of St. Paul lives within 4 miles of the Mississippi River corridor. We haven't thought about how to bring everybody in the city of St. Paul to that river. And that in 10 years, I hope we see a lot more different kind of folks down there.
Patrick Nunnally is a research associate in the Institute for Advanced Study at the University of Minnesota. Patrick, thanks so much for joining us on Access Minnesota.
Quite welcome. Thanks for having me.
That's all for this month's edition of Access Minnesota. Join us next month for a preview of the November elections. Thanks for watching.
Access Minnesota. Issues that matter to you. Join us again next week as we bring you the newsmakers and stories that shape our everyday lives. Access Minnesota is produced by the Minnesota Broadcasters Association in cooperation with the University of Minnesota's College of Liberal Arts.